Hey there, today I'm going to show you how to draw Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So this is a very simple version of Michelangelo. So let's start with the left eye. And basically we're going to do a squash sort of oval. So starting at the top, I'm going to come around and slowly make my way back up to the top. We're going to go over to the right side. Now because I'm going to have him facing sort of in that direction, I'm going to sort of squash the oval this way. So let's start at the top again. And I'm going to try to match the height here on the left side with the top of the right and come down to the same bottom area as I do on the left side. So starting at the top, come down at an angle, and then back up again to meet up at the top. Now let's draw the pupils. So on this side, I'm going to draw the pupil as a circle, sort of tucked in on the left side here of this eye, kind of like that. And then I'm going to draw a dot in the center. On this side over here, I'm going to draw that circle on the bottom left corner, the same size as I did over here, and draw a dot in the center of that. Now to make things easier as I draw the head, because the head's sort of in two parts. It's small at the top and it gets kind of wider around the mouth. I'm going to draw a line, a curved line from the left to the right, just underneath these eyes. So starting right about here, I'm going to draw a curve that goes out and just outside of that eye line right there. Below this line, I'm going to draw the mouth. So starting up below this eye, I'm going to draw an upward curve going up to the left, onto the right side here. And then I'm going to draw another deeper curve that's sort of tapered out like so. Kind of tapers back in. And just to show a little bit of teeth, I'm going to draw a line and then just color in that side there for that mouth. And on this side, I'm just going to draw a little line that comes in. And then I'm going to cross that with a T and then color that corner in just like that. From here, I'm going to take this corner, or this point here, and draw a curve that goes all the way around and back in on itself towards that point. So starting over here, and draw a curve under that mouth, curve around, and then back in towards that eye, kind of like that. And then from here, I'm going to take this point and just sort of smooth out that curve to the top of the head and then back down to that point. So coming up, around the top, and then past that eye, and then back in, just to that point. So you can see that this is sort of smaller and tighter than it is on the bottom part of the mouth area. Now for the mask, I'm going to start right about here on the same height as the eye, come up over that eye, and then back down towards the middle. And then from here, I'm just going to curve back up over the other eye, just like this. Now for the back of the head, I'm just going to draw a bit of that the cloth that's sort of tied up in the back. So starting here, around the center of that mask, I'm going to draw a curve that kind of comes down. And then I'm going to take this point and curve back up and tuck it in behind the head. Now the other part of it, I'm going to go up a little bit here and draw a curve, then bring that in and just tuck that in behind that knot there. Okay, now let's get into the body. So with the neck, it's a pretty thin neck. So starting on this side here, I'm just going to come straight down on both sides, kind of like that. And then from here, I'm just going to angle outwards on both sides. Now from here, I'm going to draw the top parts of the shoulders. So at this point, I'm just going to curve outwards. And curve outwards on the other side as well. Now I can sort of draw in the chest, so the stomach shell, or the chest shell. So from here on this part of the shoulder, I'm going to draw a straight line towards the center of his chest. And then from here, I'm going to draw a straight line going outwards as well, just underneath that shoulder line. From this point, I'm going to curve around to where I think his belly would be, or his belt. On this side, I'll do the same things, curving in. And then from here, I'm just going to draw a straight line to connect those 2 points. Like that. And then go up a little bit and draw another straight line across, even spaced all the way across. And on each of the 4 corners, I'm just going to draw a little square. There's just a little bit of detail for his belt. Alright, and from here, I'm going to take these 2 points and I'm going to go in towards center, but I'm going to leave a gap in the center here. So I'm going to this point on the left, come down at an angle, and on this side on the right I'm going to come down at an angle, again stopping at the same height. Then from here I'm going to find my center point and move up a little bit and put a point there. From here I'm just going to connect that point to the ends of those lines, like that. And then from here all I need to do is connect that point right here all the way down to this point here, but stopping in behind this belt. So I don't want to cross that belt line. So I kind of want to aim here, so drawing a curve that sort of comes down behind that belt and it continues on past it. And then up here, on the top part of this shell area, I'm just going to draw a straight line that goes across just to separate that chest plate. Alright, and then from here I'm going to draw in just a little holsters for his nunchucks. So on this side here, I'm going to draw a line going out, down, past this belt line, and then back in. I'll do the same thing on this side. So going out, coming down, and then back in. And just a little bit of, I'm going to just show a little bit of the nunchuck on top. So I'm going to step in a little bit, go up and across. I'll do the same thing on the right side here. And I'll have the nunchuck sort of poking out at the bottom here. So coming down, a little bit longer, going across and then back up. On this side, coming down, across, and then back up. Now I don't have to show the back side of the nunchuck just because it's a very simplified version of Michelangelo. So let's get into the legs. So he's got very short thighs. So right about here is where the hip would be. So I'm going to imagine the thigh coming down behind that nunchuck. And then here is where the inner thigh would come. I'm just going to draw a straight line to connect those 2 points. Let's go to this side here. So here would be the hip. It would come down in an angle and curve. And right about here is where I'll draw the inner part of the thigh and draw a straight line to go across. Okay, now here he's got some really big blocky knee pads. So what I'm going to have to do is take this line and extend it outwards. I'm going to curve that knee pad around at the front, and then I'm going to come straight back here and then just close that off. And then I'm going to draw some detail in the back here. So I'm going to draw a curve, or sorry, an angle on both sides sort of pointing towards each other, and then just cap it off with a straight line. Let's go to this side and do that again. So coming out a little bit, extending beyond that thigh, curving around, going straight back, and then straight to connect those 2 points. Again, taking the top, angling in, taking the bottom, angling inwards, and then connecting those 2 points with a straight line. Now we're going to separate these knee pads with like 2 lines. So starting at the top here, I'm going to go across, come down, and go across. Kind of want to get equal distance between the 3 blocks. So up here, I'm going to separate it with a straight line. And then down here, I'll separate with a straight line. Now the legs are quite simple. All I need to do is go in here, right where this point is, and curve around to the bottom of the heel. Okay? Go to the right side and do the exact same thing. Come down to the heel. And the reason why I'm going back and forth, left and right, is just want to get a good balance of length of lines and just make sure that the volume is the same. So going from this heel point, I'm going to curve up towards the toe. And again, going to the right side. So making sure that they're the same length. And then from here, I just want to curve the front of the foot in. And I'll go to the right side, curve the front of the foot in. And from this point, I just want to come underneath that knee pad. Kind of like so. And then from here, I'm just going to do some wraps around the foot. So starting here around the toe, I'm going to curve around. I'll take this point here and curve in towards the heel. I'll take that same point and kind of taper outwards. And then up here, I'll do a reverse curve going up. Here, I'll do the exact same thing. So coming down, curve, taking this point to the heel, again, tapering outwards, and then an upward curve near the shin. And for the toes, all I need to do is just do sort of upside down V shapes for the toes, kind of like that. I'll do the same on the right, like so. Now, let's get up to the arms. So on the shoulders, I'm just going to round out the shoulders. So at this point here, I'm going to curve in. I'll go to the right side and do the same thing. And from here, I'm just going to go out with a straight line towards the elbow. From here, I'm just going to do a curve, comes up, and take this point and go straight into that chest plate. Let's do that again. So on this side, I'm going to go straight down towards the elbow, upward curve, and then this will get tucked into that shell. From this point, this is the elbow here, so I'm going to take that point and curve in towards the fingers. I'm going to do an overlap here and draw 1 finger, cap off the tip of the finger here, and go into that sort of section in between the thumb and the forefinger. From here I'll do a reverse curve, cap off the thumb, And from this point, I'm going to connect it to the elbow here with a curved line. Simple as that. And I want to see this finger here gets tucked in behind this forefinger. Just want to show a little bit poking through in the back, kind of like that. Let's do it again on the right side. So from here, I'm going to curve around, making sure I have the same length. Do an overlap to the forefinger, cap it off with a straight line, and then come in towards that center piece here between the thumb and the forefinger. Coming out around in the opposite direction for the thumb, capping that off, and then again, connecting it with a curved line. Now he's got some bandages and straps around his wrists and fingers, so here I'm going to draw a curve, and a curve again for the finger. I'll draw the opposite curve for the thumb, and then one more in the other finger like so. Let's go to this side and do the same thing. So 2 curves for the thumb, curve for the finger, and a curve in the back for the other finger. Wrist wraps, here I'm just going to draw a curve, curve, and curve. Just sort of tapering it out a little bit just to change it up. Here I'll do the same thing. So curve, curve, curve. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. On the elbows here, so see this curve here, I'm going to do a reverse curve just above it. So it kind of comes in like that. On this side, I'll do the same thing. So this is the elbow pad strap that kind of gets wrapped around the arm. And then simply from here, I'll just come up a little bit on the elbow, go straight line out. Here below the elbow, I'll come straight out. And then I'll curve a line like so. And then splitting this into 3 parts using 2 lines, just like I did on the knee pads. On here, I'll do the same thing. So 2 lines coming out, curved line, and then splitting up into 2. And that's essentially it. There we have it. There's Michelangelo from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. Please give it a like, and we'll see you again soon.